I'm Jon Thelen. Today I'm Fish Ed. We're out at Devil's Lake out in North Dakota, and I get out here a lot. I get out here a lot in the winter and summer, and this place is known for its perch fishing and its walleye fishing, but we're going to show you something else today because some of the best pike fishing in the country is right here, and it's some of the funnest fishing at this time of year because you can pitch for them. So we're going to go in, we're going to get after a bunch of these pike. Stay right where you're at. Fish Ed's coming up. Oh boy, that feels like a pretty good one. That's my third cast. There are a lot of pike here, and you're gonna catch a lot of pike on Devil's Lake. But what I'm trying to do today, get myself a few keepers, but I'm also trying to get a few like the one that's on right now. This is a big pike. And I'll tell you exactly how I'm targeting these fish. Look at him, he's going the other way. Look at that. How fun is that when that drag just starts squealing and you gotta bury your wrist in the butt of the rod. Look at the size of that pike. That's a giant. Look at that. 3 casts. Welcome to Devil's Lake. I'll tell you what, this may be the most overlooked species in this body of water. But I'm gonna tell you, there's a way to catch them. It's not that you just come out here and throw whatever you want, cross your fingers. I'm using a bait that is targeting this big fish. We're gonna get him out of here. I'm gonna try to get him a little calmed down here and get him up. There we go. See what I'm doing here? You could not do what I'm doing without this Lindy fish handling glove I'm wearing. I'm actually holding this pike's mouth open, which is enabling me to get the lure out of her and get her back in the water here in just a sec. I'm almost there. There we go. Look at that. That right there is a big Devil's Lake pike. And I'm gonna let that girl go right away because I had to have her out a little longer than I wanted to. So I'm gonna work with her for a second and get her off on her way. There she goes. Whew. I'll tell you what, that'll get your adrenaline going. That fish right there, pushing 38, 39, maybe 40 inches. Let me show you what I'm using. Because ultimately, I am targeting that fish right there. Now, we're gonna catch some small ones along the way, there's no doubt. But fish like that one, at this time of year, wanna see a big bait. And that's what I'm using. I'm using a Lindy river rocker. And this thing here has this big wide wobble, and it's a big bait. It looks big in the water because it's just wobbling back and forth. It's making noise down there as it wobbles back and forth. It's got that big wide profile, and it's got a lot of flash. And if you can put a bait like that down there, you're gonna catch fish on it. Now, one of the things I did there is I really am slow rolling that bait too. A lot of times we just think with pike, we want to fire out and rip it back. But let me tell you something. A lot of times, especially with these post-spawn pike, and they're up in this bay, they just finished their spawning up just a little while ago. They're up here eating, but they're not at full throttle yet. So it's just a slow roll that I'm putting on it. As I'm bringing that bait in, that fish has a chance to follow it. I stop it a couple times, and that's when that fish hit. That's a great way to start right there. There he is. Oh, that's a walleye. Look at that. The one thing we have learned about this river rocker in the past couple of years, this thing catches pike, it catches walleyes, it catches salmon, it catches everything you could throw it at. There he is. Oh yeah, it's a good one. Bit right at the boat when I changed directions there. I think that makes so much difference. Sometimes you get close to the boat here, just change directions a little bit. Move that rod tip over, and all of a sudden pike like that one right there that are following it, he'll come railing up and smack it. And that's exactly what this guy did. We're gonna get him in here because you know what? We're gonna keep a couple of them, take the bones out of them tonight and eat them for dinner. So let me see if I can get this guy in here. That's a perfect size eating pike right there. Let me explain to you, after I get the boat squared away here, exactly what we're fishing and why we're fishing it. Now this has been a pretty chilly spring. And what's happened is these pike came in here to spawn, and they did their thing, and when these water temps started warming up, they do what they always do. They started feeding, okay? The thing is that then the water temps kind of stalled out. So what's happened, I'm gonna throw this guy in the live well here. So what's happened is these pike, they came back in this back bay to spawn, and you can find bays like this all over the Midwest. Natural lakes, reservoirs, doesn't much matter. What this bay is though, is it's a shallow area that has leftover reed beds from last year. And that's where these fish come in and they spawn. But here's the thing, they don't all just naturally rush out of here the minute it's over. What they'll do is they'll hang around as this water warms up and they'll feed, because what happens is all those reeds and then the little bit of weed growth that's starting will hold the bait fish. So they'll stay in here a little bit longer and gorge on food. There's a rest and recuperate time where they're eating, they're digesting that food, and they're getting ready to leave, and then they'll burn out of here. This year, it's gonna be one of them deals where we're gonna have them in here till the end of June, and that's the way it is a lot of years, but a lot of people think that they've left. If you get in here and cast crankbaits like we're doing today, you're gonna catch them. They're in here and they're a ball. There it is. Come on, he's got himself hog-tied a little bit there. That's another great pike for the dinner table right there. We'll get him untangled here. And I'm gonna throw him in the live well. That's awesome. That's just a lot of fun. The key to catching these fish all day long has been using a bigger profile bait. And I'm not after hammer handles. I'll tell you what, I could catch hundreds of these things if I wanted to catch fish this long. But the way you do that is you use a smaller bait. What we're doing is using a bigger profile bait. So keep in mind when you're going out to do this, that if you're chasing pike that you want to actually take home and eat, and you want to get a big pike like we did in the beginning of the show, you need to use big baits. A bait like this river rocker right here, it's a tangled mess right now from that fish. But that is a big, wide profile, and that makes all the difference. Cast something like this and you'll catch bigger fish. Check back with us next week for an exciting bite from somewhere across the Midwest. I'm Jon Thelen. We'll catch you next time.